Today we're gonna make the best brisket you've ever tasted. I'm NIKKI'S and this is NIKKI'S Modern Mediterranean. To get started on making the most delicious brisket you will ever try, we're gonna get started with our cut of meat. So local butcher or the supermarket, here I'm using a 3.5 pound brisket. This will be sufficient for my family of 5. But if you're gonna do this for your guests or even your family, rule of thumb, I normally do about 8 ounces per person. However, they're gonna love this recipe. You might wanna go 10 or 12 ounces per person. So this is one recipe that I'll tell you, I never have any leftovers. So my mom got this recipe about 30 years ago from her friend, and it has been a hit in our family ever since. So easy. We're gonna put our brisket in our pan, and we're gonna start with these ingredients that are gonna make the most delicious sauce. So we're gonna start with A1. I use just 1 measuring cup. So we're gonna do 1/4 cup of A1 sauce. And this is great for cleanup because we're gonna just do 1 measuring cup. 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Use all of that. 1/4 cup of teriyaki sauce. 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. 1 cup of ketchup. Look how easy this is. So I'll tend to make this recipe for holidays as, one of my meat options for a holiday dinner, but then I'll also make it throughout the winter because it's so easy again, and my kids love it, which is always a plus. And we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of honey. So this is kind of like our sweet and sour. 1 tablespoon of honey, and we're gonna whisk this together, this sauce. Now the key to this brisket is that you're gonna slow cook this for 3 to 4 hours. So if you're gonna make this for the holidays, it's perfect because I made it this holiday season several times. I make it in the morning right before I make the kids breakfast, put it in the oven, and set your timer, and that's all you have to do for this. So we'll whisk this together, combine all these ingredients, and then we're gonna pour this right on top. That's it. Now, another thing to note is that when you're doing this recipe, make sure you take your meat out of the fridge and let it come to room temperature before you bake this. You don't want your meat to be cold right out of the fridge. So we'll put this right on top. Look how easy. So this amount that I gave you guys here, you can use this for as little as 2.5 pounds of meat, all the way up to about 6 pounds. If you're gonna go more than 6 pounds of meat, then you might wanna double the recipe. So we're just gonna take this, I'm gonna add some aluminum foil and stick it in the oven. Covering this, and I have preheated the oven at 325. We want to slow cook this. So we're going to put it in the oven. Normally what I'll do is I'll set the timer for 3 hours, check the meat after 3 hours. If it is not, you want your fork to go really soft into the thickest piece of the meat. So if you need to, add another 30 minutes. You might need to go up to 3.5 to 4 hours as well. So we'll put this in the oven.